Okay. What kind of valuable things? Are they like just trinkets or?
Well, no, I was thinking more in terms of things that you might have in a very nice room.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. So nothing unusual in the sense that they left just jewels lying around, more in the sense of this was a nicely set up place and a lot of the things in it were valuable.
Okay.
I would imagine things like, vases or the edges of a tapestry or something like that.
Yeah.
Just the quality.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's the first part of this. Now, does either of you have do you have a light spell? Who was it who had a light spell?
Not me.
Zord.
Zord had.
I
don't have
But
light
I
spell.
do.
Actually, Vang has taken out a a carved stick, and he has cast light upon it, and he's holding it up. So he's got a glow stick.
Okay, great. um, so the only thing we see right now is this room.
There are different places to go, but the thing that is probably the most obvious is that against the far wall, something very powerful obviously punched down from above and shattered what to you would be the ceiling.
Okay.
There are ways that you would go up. There are stairs to go upward, but clearly something also has punched downward and broken into the ceiling, which, from its perspective, whatever it was the floor.
Okay. So whatever it is underneath all of those rocks and stones. So I'll walk over there. And I guess it's buried, so I can't really see anything, I assume. Or
yes, there's some broken materials there. This might not have been the primary point of impact, so the amount of damage isn't as much as you are making it sound. It's a little bit, the primary damage is up there, not down here.
Okay, so let's find a way up.
Can I interrupt with a question?
Sure, of course.
Is it possible for me to cast glamour without anyone seeing it if I, for example, would be one floor under them?
Well, if you are invisible at the moment and then you cast glamour, it would be not evident to people that you were doing it, as long as you weren't running up and talking to them and otherwise making a spectacle of yourself.
Okay. This can maybe sound stupid, but I kind of have an idea, so I'll cast glamour on myself too.
Okay. Well, you've knocked yourself down to a considerably low level of power. And
yes.
So, but you are invisible, so the glamour isn't affecting anybody. That's on purpose, correct?
I wanted to cast glamour on myself.
Yes. Maybe we should clarify what glamour does.
Okay.
It increases your charisma. It's just like vigor, but it's for your charisma.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I could just say my idea is I think there's going to be a dialogue.
Okay.
And if I'm going to do anything, if I'm going to reveal myself, I probably need to boost my glamour.
That sounds good.
Cool, because if I don't, everyone will just freak out. I pop in existence.
I see. Okay. So that's fine. So now
I only have 6 points left.
Right. Now the only other thing that I think I want to accomplish right. Okay. So as they proceed upward, what you will find is what is clearly the what is left, the broken remains, the broken leftovers of a very complicated ritual that involved a lot of, and you'll recognize this, a lot of alchemy was involved. There's a huge container. There are all kinds of old substances that are in pots. Some are in metal and some are in ceramic. So you know there are different kinds of chemicals. Some are in crude glass containers. So you know there are different chemicals in those different spots or different containers. And then you have a lot of mixing materials. So as if somebody were making cement. So a lot of sand and a lot of I guess it looks as though somebody would have been building a wall with this kind of material. Okay. So to Jala and to Urko, when you come up into this area, you will recognize it as a workshop of some kind. But it is not immediately obvious to you what sort of activities were done here. In fact, you might look at it and say, why it looks like somebody was building a stone wall in this room. Whereas
does my
your character
yes.
who has this alchemical training, you recognize the different jars and the different substances that might be in jars of this description.
Do me or Jala see any symbols or scrolls or
this
books?
Is what matters. Exactly. So you definitely see more of these are not scrolls. These are on more permanent material. So they are written on parchment. Some of them are quite old. This may strike you as strange, but it's true. If you take the flat shoulder bone, the scapula, from an animal and you dry it, it works really well to record with ink. So if that's one kind of old document that people have found are the scapulae of animals used as pages to write on with ink. It's a permanent record. It's very good. And you find a bunch of those as well as old parchments. Somebody gathered information from a lot of different places and brought it here.
Okay.
And so you of course and Jala are kind of like in the candy shop now.
Yeah. These symbols, are they clearly visible? So
yes,
do we have any knowledge of them?
With the light, you can definitely do it. And so there's not just symbols, there's writing. There is some runic material here, but with the runes for earth in particular and mobility. But what is unusual is that you are not really seeing very many spells. You are not really seeing, oh wait, I'm going to put it, that's wrong. There are some spells. You are not seeing anything indicating a cult, which is what you might expect. What cult was being invoked here? What gods were being brought into the situation? What religious effort was involved? Magic in our setting is primarily religious. So you don't see this. So that's kind of strange.
Okay. So we kind of understand what's been happening, but we don't exactly know why
You're
or
going
what.
to have to study. Right, exactly. The cultural context is very unusual. It seems curiously empty to you.
Yeah. Okay, so then I guess I will try to, I don't know, can we read the texts or the runes, or do we understand them?
Now it's time for your literacy rolls.
Okay. $38.
Okay, that's pretty good. And Jala has also succeeded. With materials like this, a basic literacy roll will only get you started. And it won't, it's not as though you can, look at it and then have this huge data dump in your head. So it gets you started, and you're able to organize what you're looking at. You're able to get some idea. And clearly somebody had conducted an enormous project here, drawing in information from all kinds of sources. Whoever it was some kind of genius. And you're kind of jealous. I mean, doing this without being a member of the Buried Dead, that's very insulting. Right? I mean,
Okay.
you're the only people who are supposed to know this kind of stuff and put it together like this. And so the problem is that there's almost too much information to work with, and it's very difficult for you to decide what to focus on. So you're going to have to address this with some specific questions. So you might want to think about, are you interested in who? Are you interested in what? Are you interested in any dangerous implications?
Is it impossible for me to also try to figure something out?
Well, if you're going to try to read over their shoulders, again, there's stealth. But I also want you to consider something else.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Vang says, did you hear something? I want you to make a perception roll as well. So roll percentile dice.
Me?
No, I want this. You are busy with scrolls. You're not going to perceive anything.
Okay.
Oh, you brought my Inkindu?
Yes, I am.
Percentile dice, and what was it?
This is just your intelligence times 5. 55.
Intelligence, so 12.
Oh,
55. Yeah, 60. Okay. 49.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yes. There is a grinding sound of stone rubbing against stone.
Oh.
Coming from the walls.
You're waiting for our reaction?
What do you do?
Well, I don't want to right now saying, hey, everybody. So I'm going to hang back, just observing the situation.
Vang says basically slaps Urko on the shoulder and says, look out, something's happening.
Okay.
And so alerts you to these noises. And he says, can you destroy it? Can you make it stop?
Well, I need to read these and get more used to these texts first, and go through them and see what they mean and what they are.
And Yala says to Vang, you should go. We will absorb the knowledge we can, and there's nothing you can do here, and you're probably in danger. So I'm going to see if she has any effect on Vang. And oh, well, goodness, that's quite a nice roll. So yeah, the way she says it, he kind of like gulps and realizes that he's kind of out of his league here in this place of ancient secrets, and with one look over his shoulder, and he says, "Thank you." Tries to say something else and just says again, "Thank you," and leaves to go downstairs.
Okay.